A couple years ago, Marquise Brownlee said, USB-C all things. And I'm happy to report that for most of the things in my life, this device right here has done just that. Now, before we go any further into this video, I just want to say that I've had many requests to use the front-facing camera on the Redmi K30 Pro, so I am going to attempt and exclusively film with the front-facing camera of the Redmi K30 Pro for this video. Now, I'm over here by my laptop for a very good reason, because normally I would need a separate charger for my laptop. Now, my laptop isn't the newest MacBook Pro. Actually, this laptop is going on a 1.5 years old, and it's a Dell XPS 15 9560 Core Intel i7 quad-core CPU, 32 gigs of RAM, GTX 1050 Ti, something like that. It takes a lot of power, and this is the stock power brick that it comes with, which is a 130 watt power brick. And it's needed because this device takes a lot of power. Now, I was waiting for a really long period of time to USB-C my life, right? And switch to something like this. This was released at CES, I think, this year, but I haven't seen much info about this in America, but here in Vietnam, everybody, it seems like, has these, or tech enthusiasts have them. And this is the hyperjuice gallium nitride 100 watt USB Type-C charger. Let's go back down to the desk. Now, for those of you that are unaware, gallium nitride is a compound that's now recently been used in chargers, and it's a smaller compound than silicone, and it's more, I guess, efficient at conducting electricity. So it allows hyperjuice to put a 100 watt charger in literally something that's about half the size of this 130 watt brick. Now, life with USB Type-C, all things, it's not so simple. Let me explain. This is a USB Type-C cable. This is a USB Type-C cable. This is a USB Type-C cable. But not all these cables are the same. This USB-C cable, I think, will only pass through 45 watts. This is a USB 3.1 to 3.1 cable. It's not a Thunderbolt cable. That's a different cable. But this I can use for hard drives or even charging stuff. This is a 60 watt USB or 65 watt USB Type-C cable from Baseus. This cable is pretty good. It's reasonably affordable. Will only do 60 watts. This cable is a 100 watt USB Type-C cable. This cable will allow you to do 5 amp 20 volt, I might be screwing that up, pass through and utilize the full 100 watts of power that comes from this charger. We're trying the fake front-facing camera bokeh right now on the Redmi K30 Pro, and it's a pretty cool feature because you can't see what's behind me, but now my finger might be all weird. Anyway, it's pretty cool to play with. Now, this is not cheap. Like, living in the future, living in the future is not cheap. This was like almost $100. And I wasn't going to necessarily buy this until one of my older buddies here, who's like a bit of a boomer, not really a boomer, he's like 40 something, so he's 10 years older than me. He wanted to get another adapter for his laptop, and his laptop also supports USB Type-C, except he couldn't navigate the world of, should I get a 65 watt charger? Should I get a 100 watt charger? What cables do I need? And I think this is an issue that presents itself for quite a few people, especially if you're not so tech savvy, trying to figure out which cables will charge your laptop, which cables are good for data, which cables are good for your cell phone is a little bit of a conundrum. When you combine that with the fact that Thunderbolt cables versus just regular USB Type-C cables vary in price a lot. You could see a price-conscious consumer buying this cable, like possibly, and not being able to charge their laptop. So there's a lot that goes into the marketing of USB-C'ing your life that is not necessarily the most user-friendly. That said, this cable was like under 10 bucks. It's from Basius. I will find it and I will leave links for it down in the description. In regards to this charger and this like review of it, my laptop takes 130 watts. When I am exporting video or when I'm really pushing my laptop to the max, sometimes the battery on the laptop will stop charging. Rarely do I ever see battery drain, but as soon as the laptop goes back to normal, and this is the only thing that I'm using to power my laptop, the laptop runs fine. That said, I can't charge a bunch of devices off of this because this is 100 watts shared, so that is a bit of a drawback. I had a conversation when I got into my office with him about this because this is so expensive, especially here in Vietnam. But I think that the lesson that we can all take away from this and kind of the end-all review of this hyperjuice 100 watt GAN charger is that I know that going into the future, the majority of peripherals that I have are going to be powered off of USB-C. And at the slowest, if they accept USB-C power delivery, I will be able to charge them at 18 watts, which isn't that fast, but it's not that slow either. On the flip side though, I have a variety of legacy devices that still use micro USB, like my camera battery charger and things along those lines. So I bought this one power brick, which is half the size of my conventional laptop power brick, but I'm going to be able to use this power brick for the next 2 years, 3 years. Like, even after laptops get more powerful than 100 watts, or maybe they don't, I would still be able to take this with me on a video shoot, traveling into the countryside, just being able to use this consistently for the foreseeable future. So yes, $100 on a USB Type-C charger is not cheap, but $100 over the course of, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years becomes more reasonable. It's also worth noting that, let's say you were to break your laptop charger, or in this case for my Dell, I would break this. To get another Dell branded power adapter is like 40 bucks. And if you're looking to buy an OEM power adapter for most laptops, you're going to end up spending $35 to $40 in most places to get one from the OEM company to replace your broken one. So that makes this price a lot more reasonable. If you wanted to, let's say, buy the Basius 65 watt GAN charger, which is what I was going to buy before I bought this, that charger is like $35. And Xiaomi makes a 65 watt GAN charger because Xiaomi owns part of Basius. And that charger is also $35. So this is relatively reasonable if you consider the cost of a laptop replacement and you consider the cost of a conventional 65 watt charger. It's really small. On top of that, there's adapters for this so you can travel the world and use it. Like, when I go to India, because I'm definitely going to India, I'm covered. When I go to Malaysia, because I love Malaysian food and I love Malaysia, I'm cool there too. Philippines, I don't have to worry about this. In fact, now I never have to bring a travel adapter with me, basically for the rest of my life. Which, if you only live in your country, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're like me, I don't have to bring anything anymore because we have USB-C all things. And now I can take one power brick with me a couple of cables, maybe my basiest quick disconnect magnetic cables, which I love. Video linked up here. Do you guys want me to do a follow-up on that? Let me know. Okay, that's going to wrap this up. I can't read your comments because I'm using my phone to film. Till next time, guys, it's been Mitchell coming to you from a rainy day in Hanoi. Peace.